And Lewis, may I add more? Okay, I came in because I went to the Wayne County Assembly site by mistake, and I had to find it to go to this site because it was in small print, but I got in toward the end. But again, me coming from, I'm Cuban, I'm Hispanic, and when I came to this country, you know, I was discriminated by both blacks and whites. So I'm coming with, you know, right now, we should not be participating in any conversation that goes contrary to unifying. If there's any faction of this group that don't feel like they want to belong to work with us, they're welcome to leave and continue their conversation elsewhere. Because we're all about unifying and working towards alleviating, because we keep talking about going back to the Constitution. That's actually a construct that's fortified in discrimination and racism, because it says in the 13th Amendment that there's no law that a white man needs to respect or honor for a black man. So we can write up all the law, but as long as that's still part of the Constitution, it don't apply to us, it omit us. So we need to actually take a look at what we're talking about going back to, because believe me, black people is not going back to slavery. I want to get that in everybody's mind, and Hispanic people are not going back to slavery. So what I really fear is that the times are changing, and we're moving towards a planet of people of color. Black people will be the majority soon, and I'm afraid that white people are just afraid that we're going to treat them like they treated us when they were the dominant. So I yield at that, and if we cannot move forward together, then separation is logical. I yield.
Let me respond to that, Vincent. One thing I want to correct is when you say, what are we going back to? The reason that we chose to align ourselves with the particular Republic effort that we did, and there are multiple efforts attempting to do what we're doing. That's someone, I think I heard Gary mention the Union of States earlier. That's another group. It's different than our Republic with the CK. Our Republic stands on the Articles of Confederation, not the Constitution. Now, we recognize the Constitution, of course, as it is one of the organic laws, but we use the Constitution to constrain the government, the entity that we feel that it was written for. Okay, but by correcting our status. On some of these other calls, there's one man, at least on this call, that has used some terms that I'm very comfortable with and that most people don't use enough. And I think that was Paul of Georgia talking about the elective franchise and the duties and rights and responsibilities that come along with that elective franchise. It is the elective franchise that is under the Constitution, not the man or woman. That's one of the big reasons that I push the correction of political status, so one can control their elective franchise, which is a business trust organization. I don't call it the straw man. I like to stay away from that type of language. Let's call it what it is. The de facto is identified it, and it is a thing. It is a thing to be administered. Okay, so it's a part of a larger trust. Second thing I want to address, you mentioned that the world is becoming, majority of people of color. No. The world is. The world is. You're talking about the United States of America and how the dynamics and demographics are changing here. The globe is majority people of color. The ruling class, the money changers, okay, the money changers, that class which rules, which of course we know who they are, okay, they have convinced the population that they are the majority. They are not. This was the country that they were to be the majority of, which is why what you mentioned, which is one of the original sections to the 13th Amendment, it originally had about 20, only 2 actually made it in, but what you mentioned was one of the ones that they took out. But it did give you an idea of the thought process at that time, just as the Dred Scott decision does. And so when we go back talking about re-inhabiting and reestablishing the Republic, that was the last Supreme Court decision that even dealt with ethnicity, and it's never been corrected. And that's what they call themselves doing with the invention of the U.S. certificated person, the 14th Amendment citizen. So I just wanted to make that, just hit those 2 points, because if we can look at it like that, this country has never dealt with human rights, only civil rights. So they've never dealt with the man or the woman. That's never been, they've always dealt with the thing, okay, in terms of the corporation. So with that, I yield.